What's up, my brothers and sisters in Christ? This is Joey the Preacher here, and today we're continuing our series on the seven deadly sins, and today we're focusing on anger or wrath. At one point or another, everyone has experienced this bout of anger or frustration or being upset, and at one point or another, we have experienced the consequences or results of being angry. But today, we're going to be focusing on what exactly is anger, what is uncontrolled anger, what are some examples of anger in the Bible and examples of anger today, and how it can be so dangerous, and how we can overcome our anger and how we can manage it and not let it lead to sin. As always, if you find the content on this channel to be interesting, please subscribe and hit post notifications. We're at 29 subscribers. Let's try and get to 30 by the end of the month. And without further ado, let's get into how we can manage our anger as a Christian. So as with every sin, we need a definition for it, and the definition for anger is a strong feeling of displeasure, often leading to sin when uncontrolled. Now, anger in itself is not a sin, it's a normal and human emotion, but when we leave it uncontrolled or we leave it unchecked, that's when it can lead to a variety of sins. And as with every bad thing that is in our lives, there is a warning to be found for it. And the warning to be found for anger is in Psalms chapter 37, verse 8. Here it is. Stop being angry. Turn from your rage. Do not lose your temper. It only leads to harm. The Bible basically reinforces what I said earlier about anger. When it's left uncontrolled and unchecked, it can lead to sin. Now, it's harder for some to manage their anger than others because some are just more short-tempered and some are just more patient, which is okay, and we'll get into that. Now, what are some examples in the Bible of uncontrolled anger leading to sin? Well, in the very early beginning, when God favored Abel's sacrifice over Cain's, Cain got upset. And because Cain didn't manage his emotions, he let his anger let him kill Abel, and thus being cursed by God. When Moses was frustrated by the people's constant complaining, this led him to disobey God by him striking the rock to make water flow instead of speaking to it like God commanded him to. Because of this disobedience, this cost Moses his entrance to the promised land. And then there was Jesus, who flipped tables in the temple when he discovered the temple was being turned into a marketplace. Now, there's a distinct difference between this type of anger. His anger was righteous. He was defending God's holiness and the holiness of the temple itself. So, as I said before, anger is a normal human emotion, so of course it's widespread in today's society. But many people allow their anger to drive their actions and words, and that often leads to destruction. There's the usual social media outbursts where users, fueled by emotion and anonymity, they attack others. There's also division where politics, race, and personal beliefs fuel heated debates and arguments. And of course, there's aggression. How many stories have we heard in the news about a person only taking 15 to 30 seconds to make an act of violence or aggression, and that act costing them their whole freedom or worse, their life? So basically, anger in the heart is as dangerous as murder, as Jesus says. So we need to take some steps to know how we can control our anger and channel it into something good. One of the fruits of the Spirit is patience and self-control, as Paul said. So we need to practice self-control, we need to practice patience, and we need to pray for that daily so we cannot fall into anger and commit some type of sin. Also, if we feel slighted or we feel like we need to retaliate or take revenge, we need to let God handle the justice and step back, as we know He'll pay them back. We also need to learn how to forgive others and to put to death any grudges that we have against others, because if we keep on having these grudges, we keep having this anger and this hurt in our heart, and in order to truly move on, we need to let those go. So a basic way to calm yourself down when you're angry or frustrated or upset is to count to 10 and ask God to guide your response. Also, try to keep away from content or debates that you know will get you riled up. And also, when you're in a debate or an argument, learn when to walk away. It's hard to manage anger, especially when I've had trouble all my life managing my anger and my frustration. But over time, as you get more patience and more self-control, it will get way easier for you. And as you get more and more in tune with the Lord, you will organically build patience and self-control, and you'd be less angry. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this Bible study on anger. It's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to let that anger overcome you. So make sure that you're practicing more, be more patient. You're practicing more self-control over your emotions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it. And like I said before, if you enjoy the content on this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit post notifications so you don't miss another video. But until all are one, God bless. Peace.